Section 1. The Wisest Fool, an Introduction. James VI and I, King of Scotland and England, was a man of contradictions. Born in 1566, he ascended to the Scottish throne as an infant and later became the first monarch to rule both England and Scotland. He was known as the Wisest Fool, a scholar king with a sharp intellect but prone to poor judgment. His education was extensive and he was fluent in multiple languages, yet his decisions often baffled his contemporaries. This essay delves into the life and reign of this complex figure. We will examine his policies, his personal life, and the cultural impact he had on his kingdoms. We will explore his turbulent upbringing, his political triumphs and failures, and his enduring legacy. From his early years under regents to his efforts to unify his realms, every aspect of his reign will be scrutinized. Join us as we uncover the story of James VI and I, the wisest fool in Christendom. His reign was marked by significant events that shaped the course of British history. James's reign marked a pivotal period in British history. His vision of a united Britain was ambitious, and his efforts laid the groundwork for future generations. He oversaw the union of the Scottish and English crowns, a landmark event that shaped the future of both nations. This union was not just a political maneuver, but a significant cultural shift. Yet his rule was not without its challenges, as he faced religious tensions, political intrigue, and personal tragedies. The gunpowder plot, for instance, was a direct threat to his life and reign. Despite his flaws, James was a significant figure. His contributions to literature, particularly the King James Bible, and his patronage of the arts left a lasting legacy. He was a patron of the arts, a scholar of theology, and a shrewd politician. His court was a center of cultural and intellectual activity, attracting scholars and artists from across Europe. His story is a reminder that even the most intelligent rulers can be undone by their own misjudgments. The complexities of his character and reign offer valuable lessons for understanding the interplay of wisdom and folly in leadership. Section 2. A King's Turbulent Beginnings. James VI of Scotland's life was marked by tragedy from the start. His early years were fraught with danger and uncertainty, setting the stage for a tumultuous reign. Born in 1566 to Mary, Queen of Scots, and her second husband, Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley, James entered a world of political intrigue and familial strife. James's world was thrown into turmoil when his father was murdered under mysterious circumstances, a crime that shocked the nation. Mary, already facing political opposition, was implicated in the plot and forced to abdicate the throne. This left young James in a precarious position. At just 1 year old, James became King of Scotland, a title that came with immense responsibility and danger. Growing up under the regency of his mother's half-brother, James received a rigorous education. His guardians ensured he was well prepared for the challenges ahead. His tutor, the renowned scholar George Buchanan, instilled in him a love of learning and a deep understanding of classical literature and history. Buchanan's teachings would profoundly influence James's intellectual development. James's education shaped his worldview and fueled his belief in the divine right of kings. He became a voracious reader, delving into subjects that ranged from theology to politics. However, his childhood was also marked by political intrigue and the ever-present threat of violence. The court was a dangerous place, filled with plots and schemes. The young king witnessed firsthand the brutal power struggles that plagued Scotland. These experiences taught him the harsh realities of leadership. These early experiences would leave an indelible mark on his psyche and influence his approach to governance. James's turbulent beginnings were a crucible that forged his character and prepared him for the complex world of kingship. Section 3. Navigating the Scottish Throne. As James matured, he faced the daunting task of ruling a nation riven by religious and political divisions. The Protestant Reformation had swept through Scotland, leaving the country divided between Catholics and Protestants. James, raised as a Protestant, had to tread carefully to maintain stability. He proved to be a skilled diplomat and politician, playing different factions against each other to maintain his grip on power. He understood the importance of compromise and sought to find common ground between the different factions within his realm. One of his most significant achievements was the establishment of the Scottish Presbyterian Church, which helped to solidify Protestantism in Scotland. This move, however, also created new enemies among Catholic factions, who resented the king's religious reforms. Section 4. The Union of the Crowns, a New Era. In 1603, the course of James's life and indeed British history changed forever. This pivotal year marked the beginning of a new chapter, not just for James but for the entire British Isles. Upon the death of his cousin, Queen Elizabeth I of England, James inherited the English throne. This inheritance was not just a transfer of power but a monumental shift in the political landscape of the time. This event marked the union of the crowns, uniting Scotland and England under a single monarch for the first time. It was a historic moment that promised to reshape the future of both nations. James saw the union as an opportunity to create a single, powerful British state. He envisioned a unified kingdom that would stand strong against external threats and internal divisions. He envisioned a realm where Scots and English would live together in harmony, their ancient rivalries forgotten. James believed that by fostering unity, he could bring about a golden age of peace and prosperity. He believed that his divine right to rule extended to both kingdoms, and that his reign would usher in an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity. His vision was grand, but the path to achieving it was fraught with challenges. The reality, however, proved far more complicated. The union was not as seamless as James had hoped, and the road ahead was filled with obstacles. James faced resistance from both the English Parliament and the Scottish nobility, who were wary of the implications of the union. They feared the loss of their traditional powers and privileges. The cultural and religious differences between the two kingdoms also proved difficult to overcome. These deep-seated divisions would test James's vision of a united Britain and challenge his ability to govern effectively. Section 5. James I of England, Triumphs and Trials. James's reign in England was marked by a series of successes and challenges. He successfully navigated the aftermath of the Gunpowder Plot, a Catholic conspiracy to assassinate him and blow up the House of Parliament. This event, which shook the nation to its core, revealed the fragility of James's rule and the deep religious divisions that still existed within English society. He also oversaw the establishment of the first permanent English settlements in North America, laying the foundation for the future British Empire. Jamestown, Virginia, named in his honor, became the first successful English colony in the New World. However, his reign was also plagued by financial difficulties, religious tensions, and conflicts with Parliament. James's belief in the divine right of kings put him at odds with many in Parliament, who sought to assert their own authority. Section 6. The Gunpowder Plot, a Kingdom Shaken. The Gunpowder Plot of 1605 stands as one of the most audacious assassination attempts in history. A group of Catholic conspirators, led by Robert Catesby, planned to blow up the House of Lords during the state opening of Parliament. Their aim was to kill King James, his sons, and the Protestant elite, hoping to spark a Catholic uprising in England. The plot was foiled, however, when one of the conspirators, Guy Fawkes, was discovered guarding the explosives hidden beneath the House of Lords. Fawkes and his co-conspirators were arrested, tried, and executed for treason. The Gunpowder Plot had a profound impact on James and his reign. It heightened religious tensions in England and led to increased persecution of Catholics. The event also cast a long shadow over James's court, creating an atmosphere of suspicion and paranoia. Section 7. The King James Bible, a lasting legacy. One of James I's most enduring legacies is the King James Bible. Commissioned by the king himself, this new translation of the Bible into English was intended to be the definitive version for the Church of England. A team of 47 scholars worked for 7 years to complete the translation, which was published in 1611. The King James Bible quickly became the standard Bible for English-speaking Protestants. Its elegant language and literary style had a profound impact on English literature and culture. Even today, centuries after its publication, the King James Bible remains one of the most widely read and influential books in the world. Section 8. The Paradox of the Wisest Fool. James VI and I was a man of contradictions, both brilliant and flawed. He was a scholar king, well-versed in theology, philosophy, and statecraft. He wrote extensively on a wide range of subjects, from demonology to tobacco. His court was a center of learning and culture, attracting some of the finest minds of the age. Yet, despite his intellect, James was often criticized for his poor judgment and his tendency towards extravagance. His belief in the divine right of kings alienated many of his subjects, who resented his absolutist tendencies. His lavish court and his reliance on favorites led to accusations of corruption and mismanagement. This duality is captured in the moniker the wisest fool in Christendom, a phrase often attributed to James himself. He was a man of great learning and intellectual curiosity, yet he often failed to apply his wisdom to the practical realities of governing. Section 9. Conclusion. James VI I's enduring impact. James VI and I's reign was a time of great change and upheaval. He presided over the union of the Scottish and English crowns, a momentous event that shaped the future of the British Isles. He faced down religious extremism, survived assassination attempts, and left an indelible mark on the English language and culture through the King James Bible. Despite his flaws, James was a significant figure in British history. He was the first monarch to rule over both England and Scotland, and his reign laid the groundwork for the eventual political union of the two kingdoms in 1707. He was a complex and contradictory figure, a scholar king who was both wise and foolish, a man who left behind a legacy that continues to fascinate and inspire today.